Brain Candy Podcast, episode 640. What's wrong?
I should have cleared my throat before I hit record. It's like as soon as you started, I was like, and
Do you think it was like nervous energy?
You think, how many episodes? What is this? 640? 640?
Maybe you're a late bloomer.
Yeah, that's it. I finally getting my stride.
Oh, how are you?
Or not. It's the opposite. It's the law of diminishing returns or something like that.
Yeah, one of those.
The more we do, the less you get. No, I'm just kidding. This is going to be fantastic, as it always is. How are you, Susie?
Real good, real good. Not a lot happening over here, although you will enjoy this story. You know how my kitchen has been under construction since Trump was in office, if I'm like honest.
That's a funny joke, but also realistic. That's true, I think.
It's only slightly exaggerated. We started in February, and it is fucking August. And the last thing that is being done is the floor, and it's one of these deals where I'm like married to Tim the Toolman Taylor, basically, from Home Improvement, because I really do appreciate that he saves us so much money by doing stuff himself.
Yeah.
Tasks that I would never do in a million years. Mm-hmm. But there's a price to pay for that is not monetary, and that is time. And
it's the triangle, Suze.
What?
You know of this triangle?
I don't think I do.
It's cost, time, and skill, like how good it is. What do you call like value?
Oh, yes.
Like skill, like
right. Well, that's to be determined. I'll keep you posted on that. I'm not sure yet.
Good, like done well, done cheap, or done quickly. You can pick two.
Oh, right. Exactly. Right. So, this is like a week-long process of like, first you got to put down the primer, because we're doing an epoxy floor, which is like, shiny
cool.
and whatever. And he put down the primer, and then you got to let it dry for a day or two. Yeah. But you cannot get on the floor under any circumstances. Right. But I had shit I needed in that kitchen.
Susie!
It was like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. I was like
dangling from the ceiling. Oh my God.
Adam's going to have to take a picture because it was like parkour.
Wait, for real?
Yes. I was climbing.
Oh my God.
Hanging from the cabinets.
Susie, I imagine this is how my mom got herself in the accident that she had. So can we not do things that are acrobatic above your... Now I'm a worrier. Susie Meister.
It was
Butler.
Hilarious. But I did it.
What?
It did feel like a challenge, though, because he definitely did not think I was going to successfully complete the task.
Nicely done.
So I did enjoy that feeling of like, no, I can do it. And I was like, my legs were like full splits trying to like get across the counter. So I can't wait. I can't wait to unattractive, but hilarious. I can't wait. Anyway, so that's what's going on over here.
It's going to be awesome. That sounds like exciting stuff.
Do you feel the sense of like this summer winding down? Or do you?
Yeah, I am already getting excited for
powder
spooky season.
Oh, spooky season.
Yeah. Whoa. First spooky season.
That's what I wondered is like, when does powder season start? Like December?
It's supposed to be like around November time we can start getting snow, but I don't know. Or like, at least in California.
Yeah, so you need...
Here they get it even earlier.
September, October is when you'll do spooky season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring out my black dresses. Yeah, why do you ask?
Well, because, when you have a kid, there's always this looming, when do you start school thing.
Uh-huh.
And so there's a deadline. There's a moment where it kind of ends, even if it's hot out and all that.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe not for you as much.
I was thinking about that. I really, really love the fall, and I do like that transition. I love when the stores, like Target and stuff, start having the back to school supplies. I just like to walk up and down the back to school supplies.
I know, I love school supplies.
Aisles. They're so fun. They just bring back memories of good times. And like studying, weird. And one of my favorite quotes about fall is from the movie You've Got Mail. And Meg Ryan says that fall in New York City is like a bouquet of freshly sharpened pencils.
Oh.
And
that is so nice. Things. I love pencils.
Yeah, and they have like a smell, and I'm pretty sure it's something like that. That's at least how I remember the quote. But,
yeah, there is it's sort of like the new, the January thing of like, it's a new year, new you. There is that same thing around back to school
it's a fresh
time.
start.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you get to start a new planner, a new
Yes,
journal.
I love it.
It's the best. It's like, oh yeah, I love that August through January journal.
Yeah, and you think, I'm going to be a different kind of person.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on top of my shit.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I hear that.
Yes.
Well, obviously, we have got to talk about the most hated man on the internet.
Susie! Tell me. I'm so glad I forgot to talk about this in the last episode.
I was waiting.
Oh, I'm so glad I didn't and that you got to. Do you see what I was saying about how you are this lady?
Yeah. Sarah
You're the story within the story.
Sarah told me I had to watch The Most Hated Man on the Internet because this is the story of a man who created a revenge porn website back in the aughts. And the one young lady's pictures got put up there, and then her mom was like, vigilante justice.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. And Sarah goes, you are just like this lady in the film. And I'm like, you mean the victim? And you go, no, the hero.
Tell me I'm wrong.
As soon as I saw her and she started talking, I'm like, oh my God, it is me.
But Suze, what she was famous for before?
Right.
Come on, it's so good.
Do you think it's like a certain type of person?
Susie, like there are so many parts of this that are so perfect for everything that we love. Did you catch her last name?
Yes. Right. Her last name is Law. Or Laws, Charlotte Laws, I think. Her husband is British.
Oh, I didn't even think about that part. This is good. Susie, I have actual goosebumps. I don't even know what she looks like, but go for her as Halloween.
And she was like, I will not rest. As
her for Halloween. Yeah. You know what I'm saying. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, she was just like, I will not rest until... Not just like her daughter's pictures get taken down, but until she shuts his whole site down and like wipes him off the planet practically.
Yep. And she was like, oh, I could do a deep dive and find anybody. Hang on.
Yeah.
And if that isn't Susie.
I mean, it is sick. And then how she, in her, like, awesome. Before she was married, she wrote this book about how she would like crash celebrity events, basically. Yes. And like would get past security, and which is totally what Sarah and I did when we went to the VMAs in 2016 or whatever the year that was.
Oh gosh.
I mean,
Susie's like, I got it. I'm on it. Hang on. We can do this. This is no problem. And this lady is like whatever I would be really interested to see if somehow your like astrological signs were similar. I know I'm like, believe what you want, or if like your aura, like if she like associated with like the like yellow, because I think that's what that is.
I should ask Mystic Michaela that.
Yes, because she's a celebrity. Oh, don't even say that we said, just say what colors or come on.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
I love this so much. I'm freaking out, man.
I think also that like one day on Patreon, we need to have just a 15 minutes of blame where we talk about how we got into the VMAs, because it is a story.
Oh my God. I think about this often.
We were not invited or welcome.
Like the address and where the mail goes is my favorite part. And please, you guys, you have to join us just so you can hear the story behind that little, whatever you call that little Easter egg, or not Easter egg, but little like little hint.
It's the perfect crime.
What do you call that? Blind item.
Yes.
That I just, just dropped
that was
there.
a total like Lucy and Ethel moment. And
oh my God,
really the perfect crime. It worked out great.
It did.
Anyway, but if you haven't seen The Most Hated Man on the Internet, okay, Sarah.
Yes.
You think he is sociopath, right?
100%.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
And so, like, that, it's that perfect storm of, like, he was rejected. He doesn't have empathy. And I don't know, a few other things that
he just wanted to destroy anyone that hurt him in any way. Mm-hmm. And what really
lack
disturbed
of support.
me, like the revenge porn is bad enough, but what really made it disturbing was that he would publish your Facebook page, your private social media, your contact details if he had them.
Yeah.
He would dox
your address.
People.
He did not care. This guy was like, and I feel like I always thought of revenge porn as being something that was definitely illegal.
Right.
It is definitely not illegal in a lot of places.
Yeah, I forget how many states it's now illegal in certain states, but there's no federal law against it.
This is insane.
Yeah, so the only reason that he even got in trouble in any way was just because of the hacking part, not the revenge porn.
This is like when it's like the mail, you know, like I don't know, like tampering with mail is like the crime instead of like the murder. Or
totally, like tax evasion.
Yeah, something like that.
Like the mafia. Can we just have a quick conversation, though, about maybe the star of the film, which was Butthole Girl?
Oh, my God.
Sarah. So there was one gal.
It was sad.
One gal got caught up in this and sort of was trying to earn money because she was in a custody battle and made these photos, first in good fun or whatever you'd call that, and then later to try to earn money. And I wanted to know, like, what because I felt very bad for her.
Oh, yeah.
But I also was very confused on sort of like, why did you stick around? And I guess it's that community thing. People are so desperate for a group to feel inside of.
Yeah.
It seemed like that's why she got
and like fame is fame, maybe for.
She just really wanted attention.
Yeah.
Did you feel bad for her, or were you just sort of like, lady, what are you doing?
I felt bad for her. I felt bad for her because I saw the pain when okay, so we've talked about this before, about how your brain operates and functions in different ways in different states. And when you're in fear, alert, alarm, or terror, your IQ goes down and your ability to come up with a logical, good plan is severely impacted.
Yeah.
I think panic set in with the kids being taken away, because that is like a primal instinct. You know, I got to protect my children. And I think that, if we kind of look at that.
Most people don't stick things up their butt.
Well, correct. And I think that she looked at that and like said, what do I do? And that became an option, and her brain was like that one because it's easy, quick. She started just as like a cam girl or something, like doing like stuff like that. And it's like a slippery slope, I think.
Well, she seemed like in some of the clips, like you could tell she was like, she got the joke and she knew why it was funny to like put stuff up your butt.
Yeah. And let's be real, she's not the first person in porn to put stuff up her ass.
No, that part I understand. And I thought she was very likable, and I just wish she had made better choices.
For sure. Well, I feel like it was like that slippery slope thing, and then the problems started when her Facebook page was linked to it, and in her Facebook bio, in her Facebook,
like the header,
main image, she had a picture of her kids, and then it was screenshot. It was like a screenshot that was on there, so she couldn't take it down, and he wouldn't take it down, and so what happened is he
basically blackmailed her.
Yeah, and then the court used that because it was up there.
Yeah,
and as the reason why she should have her kids taken away. And I think when that, you're really pushed into a corner. And so in a weird way, she I don't think she had the education to know of other
keep in mind, this was the early days of social media, and there was this sort of learning curve about the permanence of things and the consequences and how it spreads. I will say, however, I think maybe somebody that does make that kind of mistake maybe shouldn't be having their kids at that time for a minute, because that's pretty messed up to have your kids on a porn site. you know.
She didn't do it, though.
Oh, that's true.
It was like saying it's messed up to have your kids on Facebook.
You're right. I forgot about that.
So we can't say that she's not allowed to do porn.
No,
she can have her kids and do porn, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
And he linked it to her Facebook.
She did say she knew that he did that beforehand, but that she forgot that her kids were in one of the header pictures. So
yeah, and she was
that's
like, "Why did I do that?"
That's a pretty big mistake.
Big mistake. Yeah, and you could tell she felt so guilty about that and ashamed. Oh, it was very sad.
But isn't it a lesson too in how, like, I think you're right. I think she sincerely regretted it and felt true remorse. Yeah. But then she did keep making bad choices.
Yes, I agree.
And how that is a very common thing that people do.
Yeah. Yep.
That both things are true at the same time. Like, our brains are so weird like that.
Yep.
Anyway, it was great, and Sarah was right. I'm glad I watched it.
It was so good.
And Charlotte
he didn't get what happened? What did he get in the end?
He only got, was it like 40 months, maybe 30 something months or something. But he's out now, and he was living at his grandma's, and he like was getting death threats and stuff. It's so weird how people turn on him, because for a while their death threats were towards his victims. So I don't know what he's going to do with his life. But
well, the death threats are the thing that threatened the group, the community.
Yeah.
And he was originally, other people threatened that community, and now he's the thing that his actions threaten the community that he created. So now they're against him. Wow, that is twisted.
I'll tell you something that's great for the community, and that is Pear Eyewear.
Ooh, super cool.
I love these eyeglasses. In fact, I reached out to them and I was like, we got to talk about your product more because I love them.
Yay.
I have 2 pairs now, and I just was surprised at how far we've come in the ease of ordering online eyeglasses. So, like, you go in and you can, quote unquote, try on all these pairs, like on your computer or whatever, using the little camera, and you can actually see what you'll look like wearing them.
It's like finally we're using face filtering technology for good. For good, not evil. Yes. Yeah, so it's like a virtual try-on, and you can sample the wide variety. And then, like I said before, they have those little magnetic clip-ons so that you can get all different colors to be whimsical. So fun. Yes. It's so fun. We love this. I love it. They have all lens options, blue light sunglasses, readers, light responsive lenses, tons of stuff. They're so cute. I love the variety of frames that they have. Change things up because it's so affordable, and they're on your face. Like, get something you like. Get glasses as ever-changing as you are with Pear. Go to peareyewear.com/braincandy for 15% off your first purchase. That's 15% off at peareyewear.com/braincandy. Yeah, man. All right, moving on. I would recommend that documentary if you're interested. I did want to talk about, there was this article that was talking about disabilities and how, like, we've noticed this on this show where, like, the things that tend to go viral with regard to disabilities are like those extreme, like, robo arms and, you know, those for amputees and things that feel like futuristic and cool. Yeah. And this article was just reinforcing how, like, most of the innovation that comes within the disability community is, like, just everyday stuff where, like, you can't reach this thing or whatever. So you just, like, find a workaround. Putting your socks on. That's what I always think about. Yes. I'm sure there's so many things like that where it's just like, it wouldn't occur to you until you have to think about it. For sure. And it just, like, I don't know, it was just a reminder. And then they were really kind of emphasizing, and this is why I wanted to talk about it, how great Amazon has been for this community. Oh, wow. Okay. Points. Because, number one, a lot of the voice-activated products like Alexa and
those type of things where you can just have them add to your grocery list. You don't have to actually get out a pen and stuff. Are just so helpful day to day. They can even write emails for folks and stuff like that. And that it really, when you contrast it with the ways that, for example, our government meets the needs of these people, it's depressing to me.
You mean not at all?
Yeah, because Amazon is incentivized by money.
Yes.
Right? Unfortunately, our government doesn't seem to be incentivized by, kindness. And so they are motivated by money in the opposite way.
Creating more products in a way, or giving more access.
Yeah, they were giving
I wonder
examples.
if it's cheaper than even, because that's what they do also in the I don't know, medical device. It feels like the cost of these things are so expensive.
Yeah, it's
and
really
jacked
annoying.
up, as we've seen with insulin, like they do with a bunch of other things, so they can charge insurance a whole bunch and they can get a bigger cut, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like if you're just skipping that and go into here's a, I don't know, plastic inflatable, I'm trying to think of a thing that I found. I got a bunch of weird stuff for my mom when she was injured on Amazon.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. Including a butt pillow to sit on for her, what do you call it? Hematoma.
Right.
Oh.
And they gave the example of how with Medicare, you can get a wheelchair covered.
I was just gonna say we wanted to get a wheelchair on there. That was the cheapest thing. I tried to find that's exactly right. And the only reason I didn't, because I needed it in a day, because I was getting on a plane the next day, and the delivery was in 3 days or whatever. But it was 1/5 the price on Amazon. Oh, good point. Okay, finish what you're saying.
They only cover a new wheelchair every 5 years, regardless of whether your needs change. So if you need a different kind of wheelchair because you're
that's messed
some
up.
people have the type of illness that deterioration over time, and it's not on some schedule that Medicare decides. It's your body's changing.
Right. Oh, God.
And that you're just up a creek. And so they can go on Amazon, and for $100, which is affordable comparatively, you can get that kind of chair. Or
I'm talking, it was $900 versus $99.
Yeah. That's shameful, I think.
Because I went to the actual stores. We tried insurance and then we were like, should we start a wheelchair import-export business to Costa Rica? Because they don't have those things there.
Right. And Medicare will cover, for example, those beds that adjust, Craftmatic kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Well, they'll pay for a manual crank kind.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
But if your wife is 80 years old,
you've got to be freaking kidding. It's also assuming you're married.
Well,
or have a caregiver.
Well, right, true. Right. The particular example they gave was an old lady couldn't crank it. And
right.
So, yeah. So she was able to find this special mattress on Amazon that's that is motorized somehow. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so it was affordable and they were able to work around it. But those are the innovations or whatever that we never hear about. Right. And that are more consequential, and that if we maybe heard more about these stories, we would vote for people that could make the changes more readily. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just
You're
thought
right.
it was a good
reminder.
reminder.
All those things we see people running faster in the Olympics or
and those are fun and everything, but virality doesn't always equal.
And also a lot of them are related to age and people in a time of their life. Or even just degenerative stuff where people are in a time of their life where it's not an athlete on the cover of Sports Illustrated. It's it's people that we tend to hide away, which is so messed up.
Yeah, make them invisible.
Yes.
So we're not uncomfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
We need to not do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I finally on Hulu watched the Janet Jackson docu-series.
Oh, I didn't even know there was a Janet Jackson.
4 episodes. It was produced by her and also Randy Jackson. So you have to keep filtering it through that lens of she's deciding what goes in and doesn't get included and everything. So that's not ideal. Mm-hmm. But I mean, what a life. And every time I do see Michael's early days as a child, it is astonishing the talent that little boy had. What I do not love, however.
Okay. Love it.
And I'm sure you've noticed this too, is like, even though they all acknowledge how their dad, Joe, like beat the shit out of them or whatever, and was like a real tough love kind of guy, if that's what you want to call it, they really defend him and, what's the word, like excuse the abuse and the violence. I mean, Janet kept using phrases like, you hear like, well, that's just how people were back then, you know, spare the rod, spoil the child type of thing. Yeah. And, you know, he just wanted what was best for us. Like, she's saying the things that abusers say.
Yes.
And then when you think of what kind of guy he was and how Michael was a feminine boy, what that must have been like for him.
Oh, for sure. He's getting beaten up.
And he talked about it, but even he would make excuses like, yeah, Joseph was one.
I think it's really hard for people, without really consciously working on it, to hold caregivers in two places in their heart, like in their heart and mind. That it's really difficult when the same person that is responsible for your success or a majority of your identity, your identity, and that identity is then praised and reinforced by the public. Like, it's very difficult to then invite in any negative feelings about them because it pushes against all the, like, that identity. You go, if that's true, or if that's not true, then what else isn't true? Or, you know, if that is true, then what else is true, kind of thing.
I mean, that is...
You have to work on it.
On
it
a
can
very
be done, though.
Small scale, very small scale in comparison, that is sort of how I feel about my reality TV experience. Because so many good things came into my life as a result that I'm so thankful for.
Yeah.
But it was also abusive.
Right. It's very hard to do that.
Yeah, but like, it's almost like they feel like they have to deny the abuse a little bit or pretty much entirely in order for them to be grateful for all the good. Yeah. There is no doubt that they would not be where they are without Joe Jackson.
Yeah.
No doubt.
That's hard to reconcile in your mind.
Yeah.
In their mind, I think.
Yeah. And then she's like, you know, defends Michael and...
I mean, could you imagine if the person who, like, I can see that. It would be really hard to put them down because if you question their decision-making in raising children, you have to question its decision-making in, are they, I mean, you know, good enough or whatever? Are they talented? And I think just even if they know for sure, it could be really hard to kind of, I don't know.
There was
a cognitive dissonance in a weird way.
There's no doubt about it. There was like, I think there's some willful, like they pretend things too. You know, like she said, she defends Michael. She says he would never do that. He would never hurt a child. And the producer was like, did you ever have a moment where you thought maybe he did? And she said, no, never, ever. It's just not who he is, whatever. I get it. Okay, it's your brother. Yeah. I can imagine how that is so hard. But they would say how, like, she'd be like, we were so close. We were the closest in our whole family. And then, like, they'd drive by his house, and she'd be like, oh, there's Michael's house. I've been there one time. Like, were you that close, Janet? Yeah. Or, because, like, usually we've been to our brother's house maybe more than one time.
Well, and also maybe, like, close is, like, a relative term. Like, close for who? Like, and if your dad was abusive or, like, you know, maybe your relationship with your siblings isn't that great, you maybe wouldn't see them even, you know, however long. I don't know.
I'll tell you what they all need, and that is some therapy.
Yes.
And frankly,
individual or family or couple.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine if they did family therapy at the Jacksons? That would have been awesome.
Also, bands are doing group therapy together and like couples therapy and a weird like family therapy.
I remember Metallica did that. Metallica did group therapy.
The Migos do that too. They're a rap group.
Migos, I don't know them. Oh, they're a rap. I'm like,
we know that. We know you don't know them.
I am like that's my worst trait is that I'm not familiar with your music.
With the hip hop culture.
Yes, which is your music. We all need therapy. You need therapy. I need therapy. Because being a person is quite hard.
Oh, the hardest.
You might have anxiety or depression, and you might think, I don't really want to go somewhere to get help. So maybe a great alternative and option for you would be BetterHelp, online therapy. You can do video, phone, even live chat only therapy sessions. So you don't even have to be on camera if you don't want to. Just spill your guts and get some help. Do you think it's funny that after every time Adam has a session, he comes out and I go, are you cured? He laughs every time,
funny.
which I'm thankful
I do think that's
for.
funny. I do think that's funny.
But you can't
Because
be. We're never cured.
Who's ever cured?
And you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/BrainCandy. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/BrainCandy.
Yeah, man.
Okay. So anyway, I don't love that. And they really like blaming the media for stuff. Like, the media was just like so obsessed with like vilifying Michael. Were they? I don't think they were, Janet.
I think they were honest with what happened.
She was doing that thing where you're like, kind of like what happened to Britney, where you watch them rise and then you sort of like enjoy watching them fall. She was trying to make that connection.
Yes.
But we can't do that unless you do something to make people wonder.
Yes. Oh, gosh.
But
those other stories.
It does get your wheels turning because what a talented, amazing family who came from nothing.
Wow.
I do marvel at that because that is incredible.
Man. Okay. Good to know. 4 episodes.
When my brother Paul was visiting for my mom's birthday, I said, how come because he was like asking me about the Brian Wilson concert. He's like, that was so great. And I was describing all those bands that I love with like family members and how their voices melt together in this magical way. And I was like, how come we never had a family band? And he was like, I would never do that. Maybe I could be like Ruben on the Partridge Family and I could book the gigs and like drive the bus.
That would be appropriate. That's funny.
I'm like, it's not too late. Just think about it.
Yeah. What can your other siblings sing like you?
Yes. Like Gretchen played bassoon and piano. She took lessons for like 12 years. She's incredible.
Oh my God. Okay. You're halfway there.
I know. I'm like, what are we dragging our feet about? We could be incredible.
Yeah.
Watch out, Jacksons.
Yeah. Watch out. The Meisters are.
Let's talk about this. Is like
the Meisters would have a banjo in the band.
Yeah, I'll bust that out.
Meister Family Mix.
Okay, let's talk about one of my favorite subjects, which is near-death experiences.
Oh, you and my mother both love this.
Okay, where are we with that? Where do you sit right now with this whole deal? I can accept any answer. Don't feel pressure.
The ones that I can't really explain are the ones where they can like describe things above, like they've tested this, and it does work.
Yeah,
like they do have results that say they. I feel like I remember one about like a green like a teddy bear that was put up on like, and they remembered, or they had like they were able to recall things.
Yeah, we had talked about how some hospitals put stuff on the top shelf.
Yes, that
you could only see if you were above. But
explain that one.
There's definitely truth in a lot of people report knowing the instruments the doctors had on the tray, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But like doctors sort of explain it away as, when you're in extreme physical distress, whether it's cardiac arrest or coma, maybe, that your mind is in another state. And so that could be what's happening.
Yeah.
The thing that gets me, though, is surprisingly similar to what gets me about the New Testament, which is...
Go on.
Okay, well, so I have no idea if Jesus was divine. I don't know if he was magical and, rose from the dead or whatever. What I do know historically is that his apostles and the disciples from the New Testament were complete buffoons. Like while he was alive, like they were fucking up constantly, and Jesus was always like, "Ay de mí," like he's not Spanish, but he was just always pissed because they're so stupid, and that's why he'd have to talk to them in parables and be like, "Okay, let's imagine this lady had a coin," and he'd have to make these stories up because they were so
like
stupid.
Every therapist ever.
Yeah.
It's like the amount of metaphors that my own therapist. Okay, Sarah, let me explain it to you this way. Like, okay,
but then
it helps us.
Jesus was crucified. We're pretty sure of that historically. And then something happened. I don't know what happened, what they saw or didn't see, but I know that those guys changed their lives in such a remarkable way that they were willing to die in coliseums and become martyrs for this guy that they couldn't grasp a few months before.
Really? Okay. I did. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Something was transformative for them. And that doesn't mean it was a resurrection or that Jesus was God or anything, but I do know that something happened. And that is how it is with these near-death people, that they come out of it and they are different.
So correct.
Yeah.
You are so right.
So then I'm like, what happened?
They all did some good ayahuasca.
Yeah, but what happens when you're on those drugs, and how was that simulated during this other thing?
Yes.
What happened, Sarah?
That is a really, really interesting perspective, an interesting thing.
So the New York Times did a story about
Suze, cool.
a guy. This guy, he was on the ventilator and all that for COVID in 2020. Yeah. And his daughter was like, he was like my best friend and everything, but he was kind of superficial. He never talked about death. He never talked about religion. He was just like a working class schmuck.
Right.
And then he had this near-death experience where he went the whole tunnel and the light and all the love and blah. Yeah. And then he comes out of it and he's like this totally different guy. And she's kind of sad about it because she's like, this isn't my dad anymore. This is like this other soft, spiritual being. And it kind of freaks her out.
Wow.
But he's transformed.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, I mean, maybe it has something to do. I think it has something to do with whatever is released from the pineal gland. That may be something like the last structure, like the last thing that stays online, or the first thing to go, or something like that. I don't know, whatever.
Where is that gland?
But it's in the middle of your brain, kind of in the front area. No, actually, I don't know where. Maybe it's down in the back, in the middle, in the back. But what I do know is it's the only one that isn't mirrored on both sides. Let me look for a picture, and it's only one area. And it is pineal gland function. We're going to look at where it is. Yeah, it is. It's described as the seat of the soul, and it's located at the center of the brain. Its main function is to receive information about the state of light and dark cycles from the environment, and it produces melatonin. It's like the dream center, like where all that stuff goes on. It's the thing that's in whatever DMT has in it is like the same molecule that like is released in there. Or what,
Okay.
I don't know the science behind that, but so maybe it's like something to do with the separation of like that ego state, like that ego separation.
You know what though? So when this guy woke up and it was around his daughter and he started sharing this experience.
Yeah.
She did this thing where she was like, okay, well, you know what? You went through a lot. Like maybe that was sort of a hallucination or dream state. And he was like, listen, I had those too. I had a hallucination. There were pandas on the ceiling. That wasn't anything like this. He's like, I was there, in that feeling where you just want to be believed of like, this is real and I experienced it. And also, like, you know how when you're dreaming, it feels real and it's like very lifelike in that moment. But then you wake up and you're like, that wasn't lifelike at all. That was ridiculous. And I thought it was real. But when these people wake up, it still feels real to them. Yeah. Whereas dreams do not. Right. And it could be definitely a brain.
Ooh, there's like a third place. Here, dreams, other place. Mm-hmm. For sure. And it's like the movie Soul, probably. Oh. And you know how the people who were meditating like knew that they were meditating? And they were just in and out and they like knew how to get into it, but they weren't really into like certain areas that... Yeah. I want to see that movie again.
It's like a heightened meditative state.
Yeah. Yeah. Where you can like transcend the human body and mind. It's transcendence. Yeah. And they talk about that. Anytime something gets repeated over and over in different cultures and then like echoes things like, and we like some scientific stuff in there, you could start kind of, putting some red strings to connect to a couple pictures and draw some conclusions. And I feel like you wouldn't be too far off.
In the end, it really doesn't matter to me if it's some heavenly state or a dream. What really matters is what it does to your perception of your real life and how you get this perspective about like what's important, and it changes your viewpoint about earthly goals, success, fame, beauty, shit that doesn't matter that occupies so much of our mental real estate. Yeah. If I can transcend that bullshit, which we all know is bullshit, but we don't, we can't get past it. Yes. That is a gift. Yes. I'll tell you what else is a gift. Tell me. Great makeup.
Well, until I transcend that, I'm still going to need to cover this stuff up.
Listen.
And I hope you're talking about what I think you're going to talk about.
This earthly plane, I will be wearing makeup. And Thrive Cosmetics is where it's at.
Have you tried the primer? I want to try that sunscreen. They have a sunscreen
I do not have the primer.
I think I'm going to order it. It looks really good. I'm in love with their mascara, and I'll never go back. And their lip gloss. I mean, like, I love everything that I have. And so I feel like it's like, why even try anything else?
They have liquid lash extensions mascara. It's like this tubing formula.
It's the best.
I have it on right now.
Same.
That slides off with water and a washcloth. You actually don't even need soap. It's like it slides off.
Comes off when you want it to, not when you don't.
Right. That is
amazing.
It's great. I love their products. Just long-lasting, high-quality stuff. Yes. The brilliant eye brightener. Just everything I've tried, including the sponge, really great. And it's a great time to try Thrive Cosmetics for yourself. Right now, you can get 15% off your first order when you visit thrivecosmetics.com/braincandy. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/braincandy for 15% off your first order. I wish I didn't have to care about how I look, but I do. So
I think it makes me feel fabulous when my lashes are long and luxurious.
I agree.
P.S. I permed them like I did not videotape it because I'm like, what if this goes terribly wrong? It was wonderful. It was great.
No way.
And I think here's what I think I have, Susie, which I think you're gonna how special this is.
Okay.
I think I have a boyfriend that's like Adam, that can be taught to do all beauty routines and stuff like that because we paint each other's nails now.
That makes sense because he is very similar to Adam in that, like, his job is about making things work.
Yep.
And so they don't see it as a beauty thing. They see it as like, how does this work?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was like very, like, he watched me paint because I like paint. We like do each other's nails. So like painting his nails and he like watched the technique that I used. He was like, okay, now that I understand your technique, give me your toes. I'm going to do those.
Did he do a good job?
Amazing. And so I was like, hey, how confident are you in your ability to pierce my ears?
Whoa!
And he's like confident, and I think that's what I'm having to do next.
With what?
Oh, but I also I told him that lashes is another one that I think he could do because it's super easy.
What is DIY piercing though, but that is not deadly?
Well, you know, like the ear piercing, like the little guy. They do it at fucking Claire's. You don't think the person I said I trust him more than I trust a person at Claire's to do the little, like, get it in the right hole and have it lined up in the right spot. He's like a perfectionist.
Are you going to get a gun or a needle or what?
Yeah, a gun. Like a little, like I'm sure they have them on Amazon.
I can't believe that. You're right. But like in my brain, it's like medical equipment or something.
Right. Like, but like a 15 or 17-year-old at Claire's can do it. Do you understand that this guy, like, we're on board, right? Like, this seems like, yes, that's what I'm saying.
I just didn't think you had the equipment. And then earlier in this show, I talked about medical equipment on Amazon.
There you go. This is all, like, they're coming together.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got to pierce my ears.
Oh my God, what if he creates like a side hustle where that's his like...
Yeah, well, it's going to be...
Come one, come all.
He's going to be helping me out.
I wonder how much they cost because like a couple uses it pays for itself.
I know. It's amazing.
And then like, do you have to buy the studs separate, like piercing studs?
Probably. Let's see.
Let's see. Let's do this right now. Well, how many holes do you want? What are we doing?
I want like I tried to put one through. I had like a piercing up high, and I tried to poke it through, and it went halfway. And I was like, I just need somebody to poke it the rest of the way.
You are so brave.
It's not like it doesn't hurt at all. Oh my gosh,
Tell
Susie,
me. What?
Guess how much one of these machines?
I'm going to be so mad.
$8.
Oh my God.
They come preloaded. All it's doing is going
preloaded.
No, like, so you buy like the it looks like it's like almost like a cartridge that has a piercing already in there. You snap it into the base. You know our tagging gun?
Yeah.
It's like the tagging gun with a needle in it. Oh, this is fucking easy. 8 pieces, self-ear piercing tool, disposable earpiece kit, safety portable ear and nose kit. Well, don't try that at home.
For real, these people, our listeners are going to be on that Brain Candy Crush being like, can you believe
oh my God, they're really small. This is easy. This is no problem at all. I'm going to do this
I cannot believe it's $8.
It's $8 for a pack of 8. But we're going to get a nicer one than that.
Probably is a bad idea.
Yeah, we're going to get the nice. Oh, then they have I could do the one that's the gloves with the clamp and the hole, like the needle, which I think I would like him to do.
Maybe
I think that one
to that.
I'm going to do that one. That one's only $15.
Oh my God, you're really splashing out.
Stainless steel.
Stainless steel. And you can buy
like surgical steel. That's it.
Surgical.
Oh, we're definitely doing this. Yes. Okay.
Oh my God.
That's a fun little journey we went on together.
I love that you even thought of that because I never would have thought, I bet they have a gun for this on Amazon.
Because I thought about how I really wanted more piercings because you have more piercings and they're so cute. And I'm like, want that.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, where do I go for this? I'm like, you can go. If I'm getting like my nose or something in a part that I really like want to, like I wouldn't do my cartilage. I wouldn't do anything. We're just giving like me a hole through a place that already has a hole. Like just like we're repoking it.
So the nose you would go to a professional?
Yeah, because you want to get it in the right spot. Mm-hmm. And there really is like
there's an art to that. I think.
Art to it. And I feel like mine is a little bit off and I wish it were different. So.
Do you think I should get mine again?
Yeah, it's so cute. I love them.
I think they're cute too.
Who doesn't?
Are we in crisis right now? Well, me basically.
But I'm like fully at this age, like damn near 40. Like I'm going to just
why
not
I really
the tattoo,
love that.
So I'm getting more tattoos too.
What are you going to get?
I'm going to get more on my chest and my, like, under my, like, my rib cage that like.
Do you have ones in mind?
Under my boobs. Kind of like similar to the style that I have right now, but.
How would you describe that?
Maybe like kind of like geometric-y, like kind of sacred geometry stuff.
Sacred? Yeah. And what did I say? Celestial. I feel like that's somehow related.
Yes, 100%. Where do you think all that stuff comes from? Yeah. How many people do you think are going to be mad that I'm piercing my own body?
They're all mad. This is what I was telling you about in the Facebook group when they were mad at me.
This comes with this is like use at your own risk. You know, like don't. Oh, they have lidocaine cream.
Oh my God, she's in full. Like,
no, that's
ADHD
really good because
right
I do my own waxing and sometimes like lidocaine cream would be
you.
fantastic if I had numbing cream then it wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, I don't know why you don't have this.
I'm like, give me the pain. So this is great. This is great. We've learned so much.
Yeah. Okay, but what do you think though about how people do that, like in our Facebook group, and how they're like, worked up about stuff sometimes.
I am a big believer in the you do you.
Yes, that's what I think.
Attitude, like mentality, because if and you know what? I watched a great documentary. I can't remember what it's called, but it was a video on like Vice or on Vox.com or something that was called Why Diets Don't Work.
Okay.
And it broke down how there is a different diet for every body and everybody.
Yes. I always say this.
And what works for one person doesn't work for another person. There's also an actual scientific reason for why we believe this that we discussed, or that the article that I talked about a couple weeks ago on the spotlight effect. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So there's a part in that article that I read. I'm going to see if I can pull it up right now. That talks about why the spotlight effect is even a thing, and it's because we fall victim to something called what's it called? It's called. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it's essentially like when we believe that our feeling about something applies to the entire group. And an example is when a restaurant you really like closes, and they're like goes out, or like somebody says, "Oh, I don't like that restaurant." And you're like, "What? I love that place. Everybody loves that restaurant."
Yes, that's what you said.
When a TV show that you watched goes off the air, they cancel a TV show. You're like, "What? Everybody was watching that." Yeah. No, you were just watching that. How we apply, it's our there's this natural like bias to like apply the feelings of one to everybody else. And there's a name. Oh, what is that name? And
we'll call it the universality fallacy.
Yes, it's totally. It's something like that. You're very accurate. You're very, very close with whatever it is. And so I think that has something to do with this.
Well, because the same person, I think it was, that was upset about like an app that we were promoting, they also said that some of our partners are the prices are unrealistic, and I really can relate to that because I know the feeling of wanting a product, but it's completely out of my price range or whatever. And it felt like what is affordable to one person is not affordable to another person.
Right.
And so like, how do you make all of your partners affordable to literally every listener? You couldn't, because some people have $0 and 0 cents.
Right.
And so I totally get it. Like some things may be out of your price range, but it's sort of like, that's just not for you, and that's okay. Yeah. And like anytime anyone uses our codes and stuff like that, it means so much to me because that's such a gift that we can do this for a living. But yes. I don't want anyone to think all these things are meant for every single listener.
Right. Oh, for sure. You know, you used a great example once. You said it's like if we were watching a TV show and the Lexus commercial came on, and you'd be like, what? I'm so mad at like Jimmy Fallon for having a Lexus commercial on his TV.
How dare he? I can't afford that.
Like, I can't afford it. I'm like, yeah, that would be nice one day. And
yeah, like I don't get mad at Jimmy Kimmel because he has a Lexus commercial during his show. Yeah. But podcasting has this weird relationship with ads because they're built in. Yeah. And I think it causes some people to feel like offended if they feel like the product doesn't match their own personal worldview or budget. And I don't mean any offense at all. I'm just trying to, pay the bills over here.
Yeah.
And truly, and then I'm sorry to be on a rant, but she also said, because they, quote, act like they use these things. And
oh my God, I do every single thing. I just finished my wild grain croissant that I had for breakfast.
Like, we're not acting. We genuinely only promote things we use 100%. Like.
I have gone back and recommend to friends.
Matt Neroni even said to me, okay, Suze, really? Best Fiends, you're playing that? I'm like, we are!
Every day. In my free, 100%.
I was like, I don't know why you thought that I wouldn't be. And I said, I can never beat Sarah or anything. My point is just that, like, even my close friends are like, tell me the truth. So I understand why listeners are like, come on.
Yeah.
But it's true.
When Jessie and I were at camp, she used her Quip toothbrush. And she's like, I love this thing. I'm like, yeah, I know. Me too. It's the best.
So if you don't like a product or you feel like it's not in the price range that you like, I'm so sorry. And I totally get it. Don't just carry on.
My own aunt was a hard sell on Rothy's shoes. And then when I saw her at our next get-together years after us, like this was like recently. And I was like, oh, finally pulled the trigger.
She's
like, you were right. I'm so sorry. I was like, yeah, I know. Worth every penny, right? She's like, yes, 100%. These, I've washed them so much. And that,
that's why, like, the other day,
5 years already,
when I did the experiment with my loaf pans.
Oh, that was so good.
Real.
Susie, that was so good. I loved it.
Because I had this, when you go to the garden and you have like gigantic zucchinis, and you're like, what am I going to do with all of these zucchinis? Well, you're going to make a lot of bread.
Do you see us like maybe sometimes they're a little unrelatable, Susie? You know how when you go to the no, I'm not familiar when I go to my own garden.
Also, people give them to you when they have a garden. It's like, here's this gigantic, it's as big as your head.
Yes, that's true. I had one for a while in my refrigerator that was so gigantic. I'm like, what do I even do? I think you gave it to me.
And then you're like, okay, I'm gonna make zucchini bread. And so I did. And I was like, let me see. I have 3 pans.
You did 3. Smart. I love this. That was so fun. That was a fun little adventure.
I'm just saying, you guys, I am just a woman that is trying to make her way in the world. I'm not trying to scam anybody or pressure anybody.
Imagine? Listen. Right.
I'm just living my life over here, okay?
But like, don't pierce your own ears.
Okay, but maybe
maybe. Like, yeah. I mean, I'm going to. But again, you do you.
It seems like the further up you go, the more risky it will be.
The further up No, we're just doing third hole here. Again, already a hole. Just going to put it all the way for the rest of the way through.
Yeah.
This is easy. This is so simple. I could do it to myself, really. I just want him to line it up perfect, and he's like a perfectionist like that. And I'm going to teach him to do my eyelashes too.
Okay, before we go, I'm going to read you this. This is just from the near-death experience thing that I just thought.
Yes.
We were done talking about it, but I just saw it on my notes, and I'm like, ooh, this might be helpful. Okay, they were saying the best definition we have is it's a profound experience that many people have that includes enhanced thought processes. Your thoughts are faster and clearer than usual. You have a sense of being in a timeless state. It includes strong emotions like a sense of overwhelming peace and well-being, a sense of oneness with everything, an experience of unconditional love, a sense of being outside the physical body, and you often review your entire life and then have significant changes once you wake up. It's pretty profound.
Yeah,
but also really sounds profound. Like mushrooms.
Yes, it does, because that is exactly how I felt after I did mushrooms for the first time. And I quit my job at Gucci the next day because I said I have to do something that gives back to the better
I always forget
people.
That part.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm out of here. Can't do it anymore.
Yeah, so even if it's sort of just your brain kind of short-circuiting and doing weird things, which it very well might be, it is transformative. So what is that? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, like, if the symptoms are you're better, is it even a symptom or is it a cure? Thank you!
That was really well put.
Oh, gosh, I wasn't ready for, like, a applause. But
no, that is a great way to say it, because then it doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
It doesn't matter what causes it.
Right? It doesn't matter.
Anyway. I feel like the Brain Candy podcast is transformative.
100 bajillion%. Please. And it's such a great community. I love it.
It is. Even the ones that say stuff that I don't like online, I'm just like, but I love you.
Yes. Listen, I get requests for cameos every now and then from our listeners, which is why I told you have to sign up for it, Susie, so that you could do that. So fun. And it'll be somebody who's like the partner of the Brain Candy Brainiac who like listens to all the episodes and, you know, maybe wants like a pep talk or is like graduating, and they're always doing amazing things. And so it gives me like this little insight into who our listeners are, because these are the kind of people like their partners are like getting them. See, you're coming around.
Here's what you will admit to, though, is that I won't be able to leave it at just like a cameo. I will want to be friends with them. And like, I have bad boundaries with this stuff.
Well, because some of them I do and I exchange emails with, and they're so nice and they're partners. I'm like, you know, and I'm just like, oh, well, you guys are the cutest couple.
Yeah, like if I see
talk about
their soul, I'm like, oh, great. Now I got to be friends because I love you.
Yeah.
I'll think about it.
It's great.
I'm not even going to wind it down because, well, we're out of time.
Yeah. We love you guys.
We really do love you. I hope you do use our codes because it keeps us in fucking business.
Yeah, we need to keep the lights on over here. Keep talking to you guys.
It's no joke.
Yeah, we love it.
And
I need to order some HelloFresh.
No, we're just only going to talk about our
Yeah, I'm like, now you're reminding me what I need to get.
All right, people, I love you.
Bye.
Bye.